Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing another 8.5 by 11 layout. This is just a single photo. It's probably one of the only photos actually that I have of my son playing on the weekend with my sister's family. They used to go boating on the weekends. So they would hang out for a while in the boat and then on the beach. We're in Colorado, so there really is no beach, but it is our beach. It's sand and water. So I just wanted to use up some of my Vicki Boutin products that I have on hand. These rubons here are from Aall and Create, and I got those from Gunn shop. Some Assemblage Required. Um, the rubons are not the best. They're okay. They do rub on, and they do, but you do have to rub them a little bit more than you do 49 and Market. So you can see I've already pulled quite a bit of Vicki Boutin's products from various lines, but mainly this is Sweet Rush. There is a few from her travel collection that was out, Let's Wander. That was probably 2 years ago. And then um, I think there's a couple other papers from another collection, but most of them are from Sweet Rush. And I did have a 6x6 or a 6x8 pad that I pulled some papers from, and that's basically what I'm matting the photo with. I matted the photo in a green, and then the circle paper, which was perfect colors to match his swim trunks, and then the stripy blue and white paper, which I thought kind of reminded me of a beach towel. And I was kind of basing the colors basically off of his shorts, and there's a pink towel laying down by his legs also, so I kind of brought that color in. And then orange, I just love orange with blue, so I added in some orange and yellow. So it's kind of a rainbow of colors that I went ahead and added in. And then I used the orange paper had like not waves, like little rainbows, orange on orange, so tone on tone. And I cut those out with scissors. And then the yellow paper, I um, just tore and inked it up with black ink. Sorry, was interrupted. Anyways, I'm gonna put the two leaves here, and one of them is gonna cover up the top portion of the photo. I do know the girl in the photo. That's my niece that's sitting in the background, but you can tell she wasn't really photo ready. She's was in the water for one, and I'm sure was hating that her dad was taking pictures of her as she was all wet and hair not combed, typical teenage girl. So I went ahead and covered her up. It's not important if she's showing there or not. And then the lemon I just added for basically the color yellow behind there. I'm going to add an orange down at the bottom for the same thing. There I'm adding the orange. And then I picked some of the florals from the sticker sheet to add on. And I added the one big one down at the bottom, the orange and pink one, and then the yellow one to the right hand side. So I kind of try to keep it balanced as far as adding the flowers and adding different sizes and also the leaves. I love all of Vicki's collections because they come with so many leaves, which leaves I can use with boys. And the flowers, these ones here are kind of not girly, I guess. Even though they're pink, they're not like pretty flowers. They're good flowers that you can use for boys or girls. And I know not all flowers have to be for girls, but I just really don't like flowers. I'm not a flower person in real life at all. So I'm okay with not using flowers, which is not the usual. Most people that scrapbook love the flowers. I do not love the flowers. We have a love-hate relationship, but I try to make it work. So here you can see I'm taking the pencil and I'm going to trace around my little cluster here, or giant cluster, so that I can add the mixed media and I know where to put it at. I don't want to waste any of the rub-ons, so I wanted to go ahead and do that. The tag you can pull out. I'm going to add journaling to the back of it. Um, and then I added the title, Weekend Vibe, using the Vicki letters. That is her handwriting, which I love. And so I use that as my title. So here's the Aall and Create rub-ons. And as usual, I'm going to cut out the ones that I want to use and then rub them on. So I'm going to start with one of the bigger ones down at the bottom that has like the more of a teal blue and green. Actually, I started with the bigger teal blue one. It does have a little bit of green at the top, and you can see I tried to do it with just my fingernail at first. That was not working. And these rub-ons actually don't come with a tool to rub them on. So I have lots of tools, so I'm totally okay with that. But if you're new to rub-ons and you don't have a tool, you will need to find something, a bone folder, little tool works, something flat that you can use to rub over the top of them and press them on. Once I used the tool, they went on fairly easy. I wouldn't say they're perfect, but they definitely do rub on. You just have to be cautious of that so that you don't rip them up. If you're trying to put them on and then you think it's done and you tear it up, you'll have to piece it back together. So now I'm going to do the blue and green mix one, and I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. And I'm only going to use half of it on this side, and then I'll use the other half on the other side. I guess it was a little bit more than half. It's probably more like 2/3. Because this is the larger cluster, so I want to have a larger mixed media balance on that side. And I do add some stamps in here in a minute, and I was just kind of having fun. You can see the stamps there that are mixed media stamps. I have some older ones from Not Just for Boys. I know those are no longer available. The ones that are on top of the Distress Oxide inks are available on Amazon. I'm not sure if I can find the link for them again, but that's where I got them from. And I just put in mixed media stamps on acrylic, and they popped up. So here you can see I'm just rubbing on the rub-ons. I rubbed on some of the green ones up there at the top and down at the bottom. And now I think I'm looking for more rub-ons to rub on the other side, green ones. Yep, over here. Some of these are green, some are blue. Just adding a little bit more of the blue over on that side. And I believe that's all of the rub-ons I'm going to add. I think I'm going to start doing the stamping here in a minute after I get these ones down. So, yep, I put the rub-ons away. I did find if you keep your rub-ons in the package that they come in, usually they last a little bit longer. Rub-ons will dry out. So if they're in an open package, the air will actually dry off the adhesive on them, and then you won't be able to transfer them. That's what I've found over the years of using rub-ons. So that's just a little side note, anybody. So here you can see I'm still kind of placing it, playing with it, trying to decide where I want to add the stamping and how much I want to add. I'm not sure I really went overboard, but I definitely add a lot of stamps. And I'm going to use all of the inks that I have there. I did have Distress Oxide. I'm not sure if I showed the Distress Oxide sprays, but I end up not using those. So this one here is Lemonade Squeeze Lemonade. I don't know what it's called. It's a Distress Oxide though. And then the orange one is, oh, actually I have them right here. Yeah, Squeezed Lemonade is the yellow, Spice Marmalade is the orange, and then Blueprint Sketch is the blue one. And since I scrap 8.5 by 11, I did take the most of the mixed media that was on the white script background off when I cut it around the edges to add to add a border around. And this layout right now is actually 8 by 10.5, I believe. I forget to add the border around it, but I'll come back on and add it on screen. And just so you know, I will show you a little bit of close-ups and you'll think I'm done, and then I will come back in and show you how I put the border together. But so I did the lemon little stamp prints, and I only did a couple of those, one in each spot, I think. And then I'll do the blue ones. I do a few more of the blue ones than I did of the yellow. And then the orange ones, I believe I do 2 or 3 of each of the little orange stamps. And I'm using different ones. I'm using some of the ones off of this sheet here that I have. And then I'll pull out the Not Just for Boys ones and use some of those ones also. And I'm definitely going to use the Not Just for Boys ones, the larger circle and the smaller circle, when I do the black ink. I haven't brought in the black ink yet, but I wanted to add a little bit more black since the title is black. So here I'm just adding the orange, and I thought I was done, so I went ahead and put those away to the side, but you'll see I'll bring them back in here in a minute, and I'll add a couple more little orange splatters when I bring in the smaller stamps. And I'm just making sure my photo is straight and in the right place. That was kind of the tricky part, was getting it to stay in the correct place while I stamped these down. And it is popped up on play foam also because the tag's going to go behind it. So it was kind of easy to slide around, and of course it was sliding when I didn't want it to slide. And I actually end up covering up like some of the orange and blue where that green leaf is, because it wasn't really in the right spot. But in the end, it looks okay, so it's fine. I could have pulled it down a little bit more, I guess, and it would have been even better. But when I place it down, I don't really realize that. And also when I stamp the big black stamp on it, I kind of need it to be a little bit higher because I didn't stamp it also in the right place. But live and learn. I don't stamp very often, so I'm not the best stamper, but I definitely like the mixed media stamping because it turns out really good usually. You can see there I have the big black one, and I'm getting ready to see. Here's where I made my mistake. You saw I covered up the orange and the blue on the left-hand side, but I didn't really realize that I was putting it down in the wrong spot. But I already stamped it, so it's all good. In the end, it's fine because I go in and add a little bit more blue and orange down at the bottom anyways, so it's okay. I don't think there's really any mistakes that you can't really correct. And again, it's homemade, so you can always, redo it. It's okay. So here I'm going to stamp the other side. I wanted to clean off a little bit of the black just in case I got extra on there. And these ones turned out pretty good. The one that I put at the top actually gets covered up by the tag anyways, but it does not stamp the best. This little one here, I don't know. I don't think it was the stamp. I think it was me just holding it there a little too long. I think it made it too dark. And you can see I put the tag back, but when I glued it down, I put it a little bit higher than I probably should have. And part of that's because I'm erasing my pencil line, so then I just go eyeballing it and put it down and not realizing that I actually covered up the orange and blue splatter marks that I put down. So that's why I'll come back in and stamp a couple more. But it's okay. So here, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I think I'm just putting my stamps away. Thought I cut that part out. Guess not. Oh, I'm going to bring in the little black stamp and just stamp some of the little black marks around. And I don't add too many of those, just a few here and there, splash them around, kind of making them look random. I'm definitely more random with these than I am with my sequins. It's okay. I can be random once in a while, but sometimes I just like it to be in its place. But with the stamping, I definitely found out that adding more is better than adding less. So if you don't like it, keep adding and then see if you do like it. Kind of like with any mixed media, pretty much. So here I'm going to bring the orange one back in and start adding a couple more here at the bottom. And then I'll add one more over there. And I think I add a couple more at the top here in a minute. I think I was trying to decide if I was going to add more or not. And then I decided, yep, I'm going to add a couple more up here. And then now I'm done stamping. So I'll get ready to place it down. And I'm going to add the play foam on it. And I want to be sure that I leave an open place for the tag so that I can slide it in and out. And then also I want to put the play foam behind the stickers that are hanging over the edges or the ephemera pieces so that they're also popped up. So there, I'm going to go ahead and place it down. I believe I'll add ATG and liquid glue, which is what I usually do. Making sure that it lines up and it's in the correct place, even though it's really not. Should have been a little bit lower, but I had already did the stamping, so I couldn't really move it. And I had already added the play foam. So once you add the play foam, you really can't move it no more. But it's okay. Like I said, it's fine. But yep, I'm going to add the ATG and then I will add liquid glue around. The ATG will not hold on long term with the play foam. You can still peel it off pretty easily. So I like to use a little bit of liquid glue along with the ATG. And there you can see, I'm going to place it down and I'm going to add the little stickers that you see to the right hand side. I do take a Sharpie and I will trace around those, and that's just to add a black line around them. I thought I was going to do it with the StazOn ink, but this is actually a new ink. And when the StazOn is new, it kind of puts too much ink. So I'm just going to use a Sharpie and draw on this is wax paper that I have the stickers on. And I do need to add liquid glue to them, but I don't do it at first. At first, I go ahead and put them down, but typical American crafts, these stickers do not stay on. I think you'll see when I add the border around the edge, I actually drop some of them off and I have to add them back on. And then I'll add the liquid glue on. But it's okay. It all worked out. I realized they were falling off before they got lost. But the first one says happy memories, and then what a view. The little blue one says good food. The darker blue one says sunshine. And the tan one says fresh air. And then the green one says loving life. And one, I went for the colors. Two, I went for, a little bit of the water loving there that, they really liked being out in the water. At this point in time, we had four teenagers about in the house. So my sister's three kids and then my son. So, they were definitely having fun on the weekends playing in the water. So I was very thankful for my sister for taking my son along with her. I didn't usually go with them because water gives me a little bit of anxiety because, I don't know, just things can happen. But I really enjoy being in the water. But as I get older, I notice that it's a little bit nerve wracking for me to be in the water, especially if my boys are in the water. So you can see I picked the wave paper to use as my border. I thought I was going to use the minty green colored one, but I decided in the end I didn't really like it. I wanted the darker blue one. And I'm definitely glad I went with a darker blue wave paper. This is one of my favorites. So you saw that I did not actually gut it. Instead, I cut it in strips and then pieced it around. And you can't even tell with the waves. You definitely can't tell that I just glued it around the edges. And on the back of the tag, I used the back of the script paper to put lines on the back so I can write on it. There's a few close-ups, and I should have another layout for you guys tomorrow, hopefully. But enjoy. And if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe and leave comments below. Bye.